What happens when one of America's most trusted news anchors sits across from one of the world's most debated royals under the dim glow of the NBC Nightly news studio? A chat meant to offer clarity turns into a battlefield of ego, sharp replies, and rising frustration. Meghan Markle arrived ready to steer the story. Lester Holt greeted her with his usual calm professionalism, but within minutes, the tone shifted. What began as a polite exchange slowly unraveled into something tense enough to make the air itself feel tight. This is how Meghan Markle's night with Lester Holt fell apart on national television. The studio was unusually still that evening. The set had been simplified for a close one-on-one talk. No audience, no background noise, just two chairs under warm but focused lights. The rest of the room fading into deep darkness. The atmosphere felt heavy, almost theatrical. Lester, wearing his regular dark suit and composed expression, stepped forward to greet his guest. "Meghan, thank you for being here tonight," he said, his voice carrying the calm tone Americans recognized. Meghan entered with sharp posture, chin slightly up. She wore a practiced smile that didn't quite reach her eyes. "It's always a broken bar interesting to be invited to these things," she replied, her tone carrying an edge, as if bracing for a fight already forming in her mind. They sat, the camera tightened, and for a moment the set felt frozen. Lester started gently. "You've built a new life here in America since stepping away from the royal family. How has the adjustment been for you?" A soft question. Meghan's eyes flickered with annoyance. "Adjustment? Lester, I didn't come here to adjust. I came here to breathe freely. There's nothing to adjust to when you stop being restricted. People need to stop framing my life as some struggle to adapt." Lester nodded, absorbing her tone. "I understand. Many are curious about the differences you've experienced, the shift from the monarchy to independence." Meghan smirked faintly. "Why does everything go back to the monarchy? Is there any interview where I'm not dragged back into it? I left, yet here we are, still circling it." Maybe the media should grow past the obsession. The temperature seemed to drop. Lester remained steady. "Fair enough. Let's talk about family, then. You and Harry live in California now with your children. How has parenthood shaped you?" Meghan let out a dry laugh. "Parenthood is just a broken bar parenthood. Do you want the fairy tale version? The picture-perfect royal answer? Because if that's what you want, you won't get it. My kids aren't sound bites." Lester leaned back, calm but alert. "I wasn't implying anything. Many viewers simply appreciate hearing how public figures manage family life." Meghan shifted. "Well, I don't live to inspire strangers. My children are not for public use. They are my children. That's it." Her words echoed sharply. Lester's jaw tightened almost invisibly. Still, he stayed composed. "Let's continue. The royal family remains central to your public story. Do you think you underestimated the weight of joining such an institution?" Meghan paused, then smiled tightly. "Insulting question, Lester." "I didn't underestimate anything. I knew exactly what I stepped into. Others underestimated me. That's the real issue." When Lester tried to respond, she cut him off, her voice rising. "Or is it easier to imagine I was naive, that I wasn't strong enough? People love that version. But I'm not fragile." Silence settled. Lester inhaled, then spoke firmer. Meghan leaned into the tension. The lights hummed overhead, turning the set into something closer to a ring than an interview space. Lester tried to soften again. "Let me shift. How do you and Harry support each other through pressure?" Meghan smirked. "Support? We're not amateurs. People act like we're barely managing." "It's insulting," Lester clarified, but she shut him down again. "I'm not here to give a self-help talk. My marriage isn't a public example." The atmosphere thickened. Even the dark backdrop felt closer. Lester continued carefully. "Let's discuss the institution you left. What do you think of it now?" Meghan's voice cooled. "Outdated. A shiny cage. People treat it like something sacred. But it's theater. It eats people alive." Some would argue it still holds cultural weight, Lester noted. "Do you feel any responsibility for how your exit was viewed?" Meghan laughed sharply. "I'm not responsible for fantasies. If people worship a fading system, that's on them." Lester's patience thinned. Do you ever think your delivery comes off as dismissive? Meghan's eyes hardened. Maybe people don't like honesty. I'm not here to be pleasant for them. He shifted to Princess Diana. Do you feel a connection to her experience? Meghan's jaw tightened. Diana shouldn't be dragged into every talk about me. She deserves better, Lester clarified. But she cut deeper. You want me to cry for your cameras? Use her name for a headline? Not happening. The interview was no longer conversation but confrontation. Lester's professionalism fought to stay intact. The hum of lights sounded louder, the shadows deeper. Then Lester asked about their public projects. Some say stepping away from the spotlight while signing major media deals looks like rebranding, not retreat. How do you respond? Meghan's tone turned icy. Rebranding is a cheap word. I don't owe silence just because I left an institution. When your story is public, Lester replied, it invites scrutiny. That's part of accountability. Meghan leaned forward. Funny how accountability always means holding me accountable, not the system that harmed me. He countered gently but firmly. Meghan scoffed. Context all laziness. Same old questions. Same old boxes. A flicker of irritation crossed Lester's face. I've interviewed world leaders and survivors. They didn't dismiss questions. They engaged. Meghan fired back. So now I'm supposed to perform gratitude? I don't need NBC's approval. Lester breathed in, readying for another careful question. Some believe Harry sacrificed more than you. His country. His family. How do you see his journey? Meghan snapped. Harry chose truth. Don't twist it into me dragging him. Do you feel your voice overshadows his? Lester asked. Meghan shot him a glare. Maybe people aren't used to a woman leading her own story. Lester pushed gently but directly. People see contradictions. Rejecting the monarchy but using its fame. Wanting privacy but sharing private life publicly. Meghan's voice rose. Contradictions or complexity. But nuance doesn't sell, right? That was the breaking point. Lester set down his notes, leaned forward, and spoke with restrained authority. Enough. I've tried to keep this respectful. But the arrogance and dismissal tonight have been insulting, and not to me, but to the audience expecting honesty. Meghan stared, stunned. Insulting? What's insulting is being questioned endlessly and told to smile through it. Lester didn't back down. What's insulting is treating every fair question like an attack. You say you despise the monarchy, yet you use the fame it gave you. You want privacy, yet you sign deals to share your life. That's not courage. That's hypocrisy. Meghan froze, speechless. Lester continued. Without Harry, without that title, you wouldn't be here. Tonight you've acted not as an advocate, but as someone who thinks the world owes her special treatment. Meghan stood abruptly, gathering her things, her voice shaking. I won't sit here and be humiliated. Her heels echoed as she walked off. The door closed sharply. Lester turned to the camera. Ladies and gentlemen, I apologize. This was meant to be an honest conversation. Instead, it became something else. Respect must go both ways. The screen faded to black, the moment already set to be replayed and dissected for years.